about to go into a dark winter. A dark winter.
Make sure you're prayed up.
Under darkness.
We're about to go into a dark winter. A dark winter.
Under darkness.
A dark winter.
The spiritual war is not over. We're not finished yet.
Well, a man putting up a political sign in his yard is being held without bond after he is charged with firing a shotgun at Trump supporters.
This all went down Saturday afternoon in Kingsville, and police eventually booked Douglas Kuhn here at the White Marsh precinct. This is the truck Neil Houck and his son were in Saturday in Kingsville when he says they honked their horn at a neighbor putting up a Black Lives Matter sign.
He reached down, he had a shotgun right there, pulled it up and pointed it right at, and we were in disbelief. The next thing we heard was a shotgun blast.
Another neighbor on his back deck corroborated the quick shot.
We didn't see it, we heard it, and it was indistinguishable that it was a shotgun.
It happened just after 2 o'clock Saturday here along Mount Vista Road. No one was hurt, but police tracked down the man they say fired the shot.
We see what's going on in the country, and I really didn't expect it right here at home.
Police located a 12-gauge shotgun shell and took 50-year-old Douglas Kuhn into custody.
And then to hear the gunshot, we were just, we were rattled. I'm shaking just talking about it.
People were taking the politics a little too serious.
And Jesus knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
2020.
That's right, Rick. Denise, James Reed told police he didn't even know the people that were living inside that house. He says he was simply driving by, saw their signs out front of them supporting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's when he decided to leave a threatening and disturbing letter on their doorstep. 42-year-old James Dale Reed from Frederick County is arrested and charged after allegedly leaving a threatening letter at the front door of a house with several signs supporting presidential candidate Joe Biden. Investigators say it happened on October 4th. Reed was caught on the homeowner's Ring camera placing the disturbing and graphic letter at the doorstep. In the letter, he detailed violent actions against Biden and vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris, saying in part, "This is a warning to anyone reading this letter. If you are a Biden-Harris supporter, you will be targeted." He goes on to say, "We are the ones with those scary guns. We are the ones your children have nightmares about. When we capture Grandpa Biden, we will all severely beat him to the point of death." Reed then warned he would brutally sexually assault Harris before ending the letter describing a plan to execute both of them on national TV. The homeowner tells WJZ reading the letter was concerning.
So it was disturbing, and then as we read more and more of the letter, it was more and more upsetting. It was disgusting, it was vile, it was very graphic, and my stomach was just like nodding up.
Now, Teresa tells me that this isn't going to scare her. She says she plans on keeping her signs out in her front yard. Now, as for Reed, he is facing up to 5 years in federal prison.
What is coming right to the end of this world and the destruction of this world?
Right now to that booby-trapped campaign sign sending a worker to the hospital.
Razor blades cut him as he tried to remove it. The sign was staked out along Sleeth Road in Commerce Township, an area where it's not supposed to be.
7 Action News reporter Rudy Harper joins us live right now from that neighborhood. So what else have you learned, Rudy?
Well, that county worker now recovering at a hospital not too far from this neighborhood. You know, this all comes as the race for the White House heats up. Now, take a look at your screen. This is the photo of that political sign given to us. It's a Mike Pence sign, and at the bottom edge, you can see razor blades that appear to be taped together. Well, it hurt that county worker who tried to remove it from the right-of-way at a legal location. This is that worker's hand. There's a deep gash wound, but we blurred it because it's just too graphic. We understand that worker was on the job at the time in the area of Wixom Road and Marcello Drive. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office is investigating as to why someone felt the need to protect this sign with dangerous objects. We spoke to the township supervisor. He's fired up about this.
If you have an opinion, share your political opinion, but you can't booby-trap things and leave something with the intent to harm people. Put up trail cameras, get their pictures, but when you put razor blades on something with the intent to hurt someone, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you saw those injuries to that county worker's hand. It's likely he will also have to undergo some testing. And as I mentioned, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office now investigating.
Dear neighbor, you have been identified by our group as being a Trump supporter.
This is the letter mailed to the home of Kelly, a Milford resident who wished to be identified only by her first name.
Your address has been added into our database as a target for when we attack should Trump not concede the election.
The anonymous author goes on to say they hope Kelly's home insurance has fire coverage.
I was very taken back.
Milford police say this same letter was mailed to other homes that have signs supporting President Trump. The department is now investigating and has contacted the Attorney General's office.
This is my home. You know, you're not supposed to threaten my home.
Right.
So yeah, I'm very put off. I'm very worried in the sense that, you know, this is going on in my town.
But it's not just Milford. 2 people in Brookline also received a letter.
I was quite shocked that anybody would send a letter out with that type of threat.
Police Chief Bill Quigley alerted the U.S. Postal Inspection Service and says whoever is behind the letters could face serious charges.
Not only with us, with criminal threatening, and it's on a felony level because of the threat of burning homes down and causing injury, but it can also be with the postal inspectors, something on the federal level.
And Kelly says she really wanted to share this story to encourage other people who may have received this letter to come forward and contact their local authorities.
And Satan came also among them.
Some in the pro-Trump caravan veered off the planned route, going into the city's downtown core, where startling confrontations with counter-protesters unfolded. A Trump flag is burned as insults and items are hurled at the vehicles. Trump supporters shot paintballs from an open truck bed and fired pepper spray. The evening turned deadly when a man standing in front of this parking garage was shot. Not much is known publicly about what led to this moment, but the victim has been linked to a pro-Trump group.
I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
It's important not to forget who the puppet masters are. This will help keep everything in perspective. These folks haven't forgotten.
People are searching for answers and turning to faith during the pandemic, but a new study reveals shocking information about what exactly Americans believe. It found about half, 51% of American adults, have a traditional biblical view of God as the all-powerful, all-knowing creator, a dramatic 30-year decrease from 73% in 1991.
Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe, and tremble.
Of those who believe in Jesus, more say he sinned than didn't, 44% to 41%, and a higher percentage believe in Satan, 56%, than believe in God.
A Satanist, anarchist, trans woman running her campaign with the slogan, F the police, has won the GOP nomination for sheriff in New Hampshire. Check it out.
The habitation of devils. The habitation of devils. The habitation of devils. The habitation of devils. The habitation of devils.
It was almost like a scene out of a movie.
I could make out a couple upside-down crosses.
Students described the pictures they saw on social media.
It said, "Hail Satan," like written in blood.
Bloody messages were smeared onto the walls and windows and on a nearby white Jeep at around 9 last night.
There's an individual that they had seen walking around that appeared to be in some level of distress and had blood on his arms and hands.
After being flagged down by someone and warned about a man looking distressed and having blood on his hands, Isu police say they found him near the corner of 5th and Meade Streets. He was holding a machete and had cut himself and then scrawled messages on different surfaces with his blood. He had written "All Hail Lucifer" and drawn triangles and upside-down crosses, all messages that appear sadistic and satanic.
We saw all kinds of social media posts, and it's pretty crazy. There's blood, and the guy, I mean, it could have happened right here.
Many thankful an ECU officer was there to de-escalate the situation and take the machete away from him.
An officer was able to disarm the individual without any further incident.
As you can see, Satan has been given unprecedented access to the lives and souls of mankind.
Across this entire earth.
Blue and red dualism.
Neither give place to the devil.
The left-right paradigm is a tried and true divide and conquer tactic.
The Luciferian elite have invoked the elements of fire and ice, the red and blue spellcasting handed down to them by principalities and the rulers of unseen realms.
Called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
But their schemes and sorceries are in vain. I'm broken, but I'm not hopeless.
Their plans will ultimately be used to fulfill God's divine, sovereign, and righteous judgment of the nations.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood,
and the blessed redemption of his set-apart children. One touch.
Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
Faith and the commandments are a beautiful refuge.
I just wanna float free.